Ethan's ship descended slowly through the shimmering clouds of Varelia. Below him, the planet stretched like a living jewel, with forests that glowed faintly in green and blue, rivers that sparkled under the twin suns, and mountains that seemed to float above the ground, suspended by some strange force. It was breathtaking, unlike anything he had ever seen on Earth or in the maps his team had studied. He tightened his grip on the controls. "All right, team," he said into his comm. "We're about to make history. First human landing on Varelia. Let's keep it clean and professional." From the corner of the cockpit, his co-pilot, Mara, gave a nervous laugh. "Professional is your middle name, right? Something like that." Ethan replied with a smile, his blue eyes reflecting the alien light outside. He had always been the type to push boundaries, to step into the unknown. That courage, sometimes reckless, sometimes inspiring, was exactly why he had been chosen for this mission. Humans had a reputation across the galaxy for being bold, even when the odds were against them. The landing platform appeared below them, carved from a translucent crystal that seemed alive. Humming faintly with energy, Ethan guided the ship down carefully, touching the landing struts to the surface. The moment the engines powered down, a wave of quiet energy seemed to ripple through the platform, as if the planet itself had acknowledged their arrival. Ethan and Mara donned their light exploration suits, stepping out into the air of Varelia. Unlike Earth, the atmosphere was thick but breathable, and a faint sweetness hung in the air. The forest around them pulsed with faint light, as if every tree, flower, and rock had its own heartbeat. This is amazing," Mara whispered, walking carefully over the crystalline ground. "I've never seen anything like it, neither have I," Ethan admitted. But as much as the beauty of the planet captured him, his mind was also focused on the mission. Diplomatic contact with the Virelians had to be handled carefully. These were an intelligent species, capable of advanced technology, and first impressions would matter more than anything. As they explored, a soft sound caught Ethan's attention, a delicate hum, like a melody carried by the wind. Following it, they came upon a large courtyard in the middle of a floating crystal city, and there, standing near a fountain that shimmered with liquid light, was Princess Leora. She was unlike anything Ethan had expected. Her skin shimmered faintly, like liquid silver, reflecting the colors of the surroundings. Her eyes were large, expressive, and golden, filled with curiosity. Her hair, or what he assumed was hair, flowed in strands that seemed to float as if weightless. For a moment, Ethan felt completely out of place, a human standing in the presence of something extraordinary. "Greetings," Ethan said, raising his hand slowly to show he meant no harm. "I'm Ethan, a representative of humanity." Leora tilted her head, observing him carefully. "You are unlike any being I have met," she said, her voice melodic, almost vibrating in the air. "Why have you come here?" "To meet you," Ethan replied honestly, "to learn about your world, and to see if we can become friends." She regarded him silently for a moment. Then her eyes flickered, her skin pulsing with a soft red hue. Ethan froze. He had read about Virelians' emotional responses, but he hadn't expected to witness one so quickly and so clearly. "Your presence, it is striking," she admitted finally, a faint smile forming. "You make me feel unusual." Ethan couldn't help but grin. Humans had a way of expressing courage and honesty that often caught others off guard. And from what he had read, Virelians were usually reserved, careful, calculating. The fact that one of their own was reacting so strongly to a human was remarkable. As they talked, a small crystal fell from a floating sculpture nearby, tumbling toward Leora. Without thinking, Ethan lunged forward and caught it, steadying the delicate object. Leora's golden eyes widened, and her skin glowed a brighter red than before. "You are brave," she said softly, her voice almost a whisper. "Not many would act without hesitation." Ethan shrugged modestly. "It's what humans do. We tend to jump first and think later." She laughed, a sound like chimes in the wind, and the glow of her skin softened to a gentle pink. Ethan realized then that humans could reach parts of a being's soul that logic alone could not. Leora was experiencing something genuine, something rare. Over the next hours, Ethan and Leora walked through the floating gardens. She showed him fountains that sang, flowers that opened and closed with thought, and crystal bridges that changed their shape depending on who walked across them. He was fascinated by every detail, but more than the wonders of Varelia. He was captivated by her curiosity and intelligence. You see things differently, Leora said at one point, watching him examine a small luminescent plant. Humans notice details we overlook. Your mind, it is different from ours. It's not just our minds, Ethan replied. It's the way we feel. We notice emotions, connections, small things that make life meaningful. Her skin flickered a deeper red again, and Ethan felt a thrill of excitement. Humans were special in many ways, but this was different. They were making a connection that transcended words, species, and even planets. As the twin suns began to set, casting a soft violet glow over the floating city, Leora stopped near a reflective pool. She leaned forward and gazed into her own reflection, then looked at Ethan. I do not understand why your presence affects me so strongly, she admitted. I have been trained to remain calm, to observe, to respond carefully. But with you, I feel different. Alive, Ethan smiled, stepping closer. That's what humans do. We bring out what's hidden. We make people see themselves differently. Leora's eyes widened slightly, and for a moment, her skin glowed the brightest red Ethan had ever seen. She looked away, embarrassed, but then whispered, You make me feel like I'm more than I thought, more than I believed I could be. Ethan laughed softly. That's the best thing a human can do. We try to inspire, even if we don't always succeed. As the night settled over Varelia, the stars reflected in the crystalline towers and rivers. Ethan realized that this was more than a diplomatic mission. This was the beginning of something extraordinary. Humans had a way of touching hearts, even alien ones, that no machine, no technology could replicate. And Princess Leora, with her radiant skin and curious eyes, was already beginning to understand that dot for the first time. Ethan felt a deep connection not just to a species, but to the very spirit of this world. And somewhere in the quiet glow of the alien city, he sensed that humanity's courage, honesty, and simple humanity could change not just Varelia, but the galaxy itself. As he prepared to leave the gardens and report back to his team, Leora's voice stopped him. Ethan, she said, almost shyly. Her skin flickered a soft red again. Do not leave too soon. Stay. Tell me more about your world. Ethan smiled, knowing that this first contact had already grown into something rare. Humans had a way of making an impact not through power or weapons, but through courage, curiosity, and a willingness to connect. And on this strange, glowing planet, he realized that he might be the first human to truly touch the heart of an alien world. With a nod, he stayed by her side, ready to share stories of Earth, of humans, of courage and beauty, and to see just how far his words could reach into the heart of a princess, and perhaps into the future of an entire civilization. Ethan stayed in the royal gardens with Princess Leora long after the sun had set. The twin moons of Varelia hung low in the violet sky, casting a soft glow over the floating crystals. The air was filled with a gentle hum from the plants and fountains, a melody that seemed alive, as if the planet itself was listening. Leora watched Ethan carefully, curiosity sparkling in her golden eyes. Tell me about your world, she said, her skin flickering a soft, warm red. What is Earth like? Ethan smiled. Earth is big, noisy, and full of life. Mountains, oceans, forests, cities. Billions of people, all living in their own ways. Some are brave, some are curious, some are kind, and some, well, they make mistakes. But what makes humans special is how we care for each other, even when things are hard. Her eyes widened and her skin brightened slightly. You care? Even when it is dangerous or difficult? Yes, Ethan said. That is what humans do. We take risks to help those we care about. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but we do it anyway. Leora tilted her head, trying to understand. Her people valued precision, logic, and control. Emotions were important, but they were measured, restrained. Humans were different. They acted from the heart, openly and fearlessly. She found herself fascinated. I wish my people could understand this. she admitted softly, her skin glowing a delicate pink. "We see emotions as weaknesses, but you turn them into strength." Ethan felt a thrill. This was why humans were admired, not just for their technology or courage, but for their heart. "Sometimes, the heart is stronger than the mind," he said gently. "It can inspire, protect, and even change a world." Leora's gaze lingered on him. Her cheeks were the closest Virilians had to cheeks flushing a deep red. You are unlike anyone I have ever met," she whispered. "You make me feel new things I have no words for." Ethan laughed softly. "You don't need words. You just feel them. That's the human way." They walked along a crystal bridge that arched over a glowing river. The water beneath them reflected both the moons and the floating city above, creating the illusion of a second sky. Ethan pointed to a cluster of flowers that changed color when touched. "See that?" he said. "Humans are curious. We touch, we explore, we try to understand everything around us. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's beautiful, but we always learn something." Leora reached out carefully and touched a flower. It glowed bright pink and sent tiny sparks of light into the air. Her skin flickered a deep red at the sensation. "It reacts to touch," she murmured. "Like your people react to feelings." "Exactly," Ethan said, smiling. "Humans have a way of reacting to the world that is personal. We show who we are through what we do, what we say, even how we feel." For a long moment, they walked in silence. Ethan could feel the subtle energy of her emotions radiating from her, a warmth that was almost physical. It was unlike anything he had ever experienced with another being, human or alien. He realized that this connection, this ability to touch someone's heart, was something humans carried. "Wherever they went, like you," Leora said suddenly, her voice soft and hesitant. Her skin flared a deep, brilliant red. "Your words, they make me feel special." Ethan stopped in his tracks, surprised. Compliments had meaning on Virelia, but for a princess to react like this, it was extraordinary. He smiled warmly. "Thank you, Leora. You are beautiful. Not just your appearance, but your mind, your curiosity, your courage. That is what makes you remarkable." Her eyes widened, and she looked away, embarrassed. Her red glow intensified, pulsing with every beat of her unusual heart. You must say that again," she whispered. Ethan chuckled softly. "All right," he said. "You are beautiful, Leora, every part of you. Your mind, your courage, your heart. You inspire me." This time, her skin shimmered with a rich, radiant red that seemed to light up the night. She took a deep breath, steadying herself. "Humans, you speak in ways that touch the soul," she said. "I have never felt so alive." Ethan felt a strange warmth in his chest. Humans were known for courage, for bravery, but this was something different. They could inspire, could move, could awaken feelings that no technology or weapon could ever touch. And here, on this alien world, he was seeing it firsthand. Over the next hours, they shared stories. Ethan spoke of Earth, of oceans and forests, of human art, music, and inventions. Leora told him of Virelia, its history, its cities, and the complex culture of her people. As they talked, Ethan noticed how her skin changed with every story, every shared laugh, every moment of understanding. He realized that humans had a unique gift, the ability to connect deeply, even across the vast divide of species. "You make me want to learn more," Leora admitted. "Not just about humans, but about myself. You show me that it is okay to feel, to express, to be brave." "That's what humans do," Ethan said. "We bring out the best in people. We notice what is hidden and celebrate it. You are stronger than you realize, Leora. More capable than anyone has ever told you." Her skin glowed a soft, steady red, and for a moment, she looked vulnerable, yet powerful. I wish I could feel this way all the time," she whispered. "But I am a princess. I must be careful, always measured, always controlled." Ethan reached out gently, touching her hand in a gesture of reassurance. "You can feel anything you want. Being brave doesn't mean being reckless. It means being honest, being willing to try, and caring for others. Humans aren't perfect, but we try and that is enough. Leora's golden eyes filled with a mix of awe and gratitude. You are unlike anyone I have ever known, she said. You make me see life differently, Ethan smiled. And you make me see something extraordinary. Humans are special, but so are you. Maybe together we can learn even more. About each other, about our worlds, about courage. As the night deepened, the two of them walked back toward the palace gates, their conversation flowing easily, full of laughter and wonder. Ethan noticed that the guards and servants, who had been watching discreetly, seemed calmer, even inspired. The presence of a human brave, sincere, and unafraid was already leaving a mark on Varelia. Just as he had hoped, before leaving, Leora turned to him, her skin glowing a faint red once again. Promise me you will not leave too soon, she said. Stay and tell me more tomorrow. Teach me about humans, about courage, about beauty. Ethan laughed softly. I promise. And Leora, thank you. You've shown me that humans aren't the only ones capable of wonder. Your world, your people, it's extraordinary. And you more than anyone remind me why connecting with others is worth everything. She smiled, her red glow intensifying for a final moment, as if sealing the unspoken bond between them. Ethan realized then that this was no ordinary diplomatic mission. Humans had a way of inspiring loyalty, courage, and wonder. They could awaken feelings that no alien technology or political power could ever replicate. And here, in the quiet light of the royal gardens, with a princess whose heart now seemed partly open to him, Ethan felt the beginning of something remarkable. Humans had always been bold, curious, and brave, but the ability to touch a soul, to awaken emotions, to make another being feel truly seen, that was something else entirely. That was humanity at its finest. And Princess Leora, with her glowing red skin and golden eyes, had just become the first witness to it. The morning on Varelia was unlike any Ethan had ever experienced. The twin suns rose slowly, casting the floating crystal city in a golden glow. Birds, or the Varelian equivalent of birds, soared in intricate patterns, leaving trails of light behind them. The air was crisp and alive, carrying faint vibrations from the planet's humming energy. Ethan walked through the palace corridors with Princess Leora at his side. Her glowing skin shifted with every movement, flickering from soft pink to deep red, reflecting her curiosity and anticipation. Ethan, she said, her voice careful but urgent, I must warn you, not everything in my kingdom is at peace. There are factions that do not trust humans or me. Some would prefer to see change come through force, not dialogue. Ethan nodded, listening carefully. I understand, and will be careful, but I also know that humans can face danger when it matters most. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite it. Leora smiled faintly, but her golden eyes showed concern. You speak wisely, human. Few here would say such things so openly. Your presence, it changes how I think, how I feel. Perhaps it can change others as well. They arrived at the palace council chamber, a grand hall of floating crystal platforms and luminous tapestries. Leora introduced Ethan to her advisors, most of whom looked uneasy at the sight of a human so close to their princess. This is Ethan, she said firmly. He is here to learn, to share, and to help. I trust him, and you should too. Some of the advisors murmured, skeptical and cautious. Virelians valued tradition and hierarchy. The presence of an outsider, especially one so bold and unafraid, was unsettling. Yet Ethan's calm demeanor and sincere words began to win small signs of approval. As they discussed matters of diplomacy, a young messenger arrived, panting. Princess, there are reports of a rogue faction approaching the city's perimeter. They seek to challenge your authority. Leora's skin flickered a bright red, a mix of alarm and determination. I feared this, she whispered. They have long resented my rule, and now they have seen your rival as a threat. They will act soon. Ethan stepped forward, steady and calm. Then we prepare. Humans have faced danger many times, and we always find a way. Let's use your knowledge and my experience. Together, we can protect the city and your people. Leora's eyes softened. and her red glow pulsed with renewed strength. You speak of courage, but will the others follow? They will, Ethan said confidently. Humans can inspire loyalty. They may be unsure at first, but bravery is contagious. I will help them see it. The next hours were a blur of preparation. Ethan and Leora moved through the palace, coordinating the defense. Leora explained the technology of the floating city shields powered by crystal energy, surveillance drones that hovered silently, and automated gates that could protect critical areas. Ethan observed carefully, asking questions, learning quickly. This is remarkable, he said. Your people have mastered technology, but courage. That is where humans can help. We combine our strengths with yours. Leora's skin glowed a soft red as she watched him. You are inspiring, Ethan. I have never felt so certain, so able. Humans truly are special. As night fell, the rogue faction arrived. Their ships and creatures hovered at the city's edge, casting dark shadows over the glowing towers. Panic stirred among some citizens, but Ethan remained calm. He gathered the royal guards and spoke with a quiet authority. Listen, he said. This is a challenge, yes, but you are not powerless. Humans face danger every day not because we are fearless, but because we choose to act. Stand together, trust in your training, and remember that courage is stronger than fear. The guards exchanged uncertain glances, but Ethan's words resonated. They felt the truth in them. There was something in humans' and unwavering resolve, a spark of hope that others could follow. Leora joined him, her skin glowing red with determination. We fight together, she said firmly. Not for power, but for our people. For the future. The first skirmishes began at the outer gates. The rogue faction sent swift flying creatures and small assault drones. Ethan directed the Varillian defenders, combining his understanding of human tactics with their advanced technology. He guided shield placement, suggested ambushes, and coordinated counterattacks. The Varillians watched in awe. His strategies were simple but effective. Humans had a way of seeing patterns others overlooked, of turning even small advantages into decisive action. Slowly, the rogue attackers were repelled, retreating under the combined efforts of humans and Varillians amid the chaos. Leora and Ethan fought side by side. She used her agility and energy manipulation, while Ethan relied on timing, observation, and courage. Every time he complimented her skill or intelligence, her skin glowed a brighter red, and her movements became more confident, almost fearless. You are incredible, he said as she deflected an attack. Your people may not see it, but I do. You are strong, brilliant, and brave. Her golden eyes met his, shimmering with gratitude and admiration. You make me feel capable, Ethan, like I can face anything. Their bond deepened with every moment. Leora's loyalty to him and the humans' bravery became a symbol for the defenders. Even the hesitant advisors began to act with renewed confidence. Inspired by the combination of human courage and Varillian skill, hours passed, and the rogue faction realized that they could not easily break the city's defenses. Ethan's strategies, Leora's leadership, and the defenders' courage forced them to retreat. As silence fell over the glowing towers, the citizens began to emerge, cautiously but with relief. Leora turned to Ethan, her skin flickering a soft, gentle red. You have changed everything tonight, she said softly. My people, they see what humans can do, and I feel braver than ever. Ethan smiled, wiping sweat from his brow. Courage isn't just about fighting. It's about standing up, helping others, and inspiring hope. Humans have done it for generations. Tonight, you did it too. Her eyes shone brightly. Then, perhaps humans are more than visitors. Perhaps you are teachers, not just of skill, but of courage, trust, and heart. Ethan felt a swell of pride. Humans had always been admired for their resilience, but this touching hearts, inspiring trust. Awakening courage, this was something more. They had made a difference, not just through strength, but through connection. Leora's hand brushed his, almost shyly. Stay with me, she said quietly. Teach me more. Teach my people. Everything you know about courage, about being human. Ethan laughed softly. I will. But you've already learned the most important lesson. Bravery, honesty, and care can change the world, one heart at a time. The city, once threatened by chaos, now shone with a renewed sense of hope. Citizens moved through the glowing streets with confidence, inspired by the combined courage of humans and Virilians. And at the center of it all, Princess Leora stood tall, her skin glowing a steady, radiant red, no longer just a reaction to words, but a symbol of strength and connection. As Ethan gazed at the floating city, he realized something profound. Humans were extraordinary not because of technology or weapons, but because of their heart, their courage, and their ability to touch lives. And on Virelia, for the first time, he saw that human spirit reflected in an alien world, glowing brightly, and capable of inspiring change in ways no one could have imagined. Tomorrow, Ethan said softly, we continue, not as human and alien, but as allies, friends, and together we can face anything. Leora's golden eyes met his, filled with gratitude and wonder. Yes, together, humans, you are truly remarkable. And with that, the night settled over Virelia, quiet but alive with the promise of a new era world where courage, kindness, and understanding could cross species, planets, and hearts. The first rays of the twin suns touched Virelia's floating city, illuminating the crystalline towers with golden light. Birds or creatures that resembled birds soared overhead, their feathers glinting like tiny shards of glass. The city had returned to peace after the rogue faction's retreat, but the memory of last night's attack lingered in every hallway, every courtyard. Ethan and Princess Leora walked together through the gardens, the soft glow of bioluminescent flowers blending with the early sunlight. Her skin shifted between pale pink and vibrant red, reflecting her excitement and curiosity. She had barely slept, her mind restless with thoughts of strategy, her people, and the human who had inspired her. You did not need to fight so boldly last night, Leora said softly, her golden eyes serious. I worry for you, Ethan shrugged, smiling lightly. I am trained for this, but more importantly, humans. We don't step back when people need help. Courage isn't about fearlessness. It's about action. And last night, your people needed action. Leora's cheeks soared, the closest thing Virilians had to cheeks flushed a deep red. You make me wish I could feel that bravery always. Not just in the palace, but in every moment. You can, Ethan said gently. Bravery is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And sometimes, it helps to have someone by your side. Her skin glowed, a soft, warm red, as if agreeing with his words. For the first time, Leora realized that courage was not just a rule to follow, it was a feeling to embrace. Something that humans could teach, simply by being themselves. Suddenly, a faint alarm echoed across the city. The sensors along the outer walls detected movement, an unexpected return of the rogue faction. They had not given up. They were testing the city, probing for weakness, and they would not stop until they found it. Ethan's expression grew serious. Looks like they want another fight. But this time, we'll be ready. Leora's eyes shimmered with determination, and her skin flickered a strong red. Yes, we will defend the city. Together, the Palace Council convened immediately. Ethan suggested a plan that combined human tactics with Virilian technology. Drones would scout ahead, energy shields would form strategic barriers, and agile patrol units would protect key entry points. Every suggestion was rooted in simplicity, relying on courage, observation, and trust, qualities humans excel at. This is different from anything we've ever tried, one advisor said cautiously. Your approach relies on emotion, not just emotion, Ethan replied. It relies on action inspired by understanding. Courage is contagious. Loyalty is earned through trust. Humans have learned that fear can be overcome by connection, not just force. Leora's skin glowed deep red, and she looked at Ethan with awe. You are teaching us something no textbook could explain. Humans are extraordinary. As the rogue faction approached the city gates, Ethan and Leora led the defense. The first wave was swift and aggressive, but the defenders moved with coordination, guided by Ethan's calm instructions. He reminded them to trust each other, to anticipate, to act with confidence. Remember, Ethan said firmly, We are not just defending walls. We are defending hope. Fear is natural, but courage is stronger. Leora fought alongside him, her movements precise and elegant. Every time Ethan complimented her skill or intelligence, her skin flared a brighter red, and her actions became even more confident. The combination of human encouragement and Varillian talent was unstoppable. "You are amazing," Ethan said during a brief pause, as she blocked a rogue attack with effortless grace. "Your people may not realize it, but you are extraordinary. Bravery comes naturally to you." Her golden eyes met his, and she smiled, a faint blush spreading across her red skin. You make me feel capable of anything," she whispered. "I have never believed in myself this way before." The battle raged for hours, each side testing the other. But the defenders, inspired by Ethan's words and Leora's leadership, held their ground. They adapted quickly, combining human intuition with Varillian technology. Every drone, every shield, every defensive maneuver reflected a new understanding, courage, and connection. Could change the outcome of a fight, even against overwhelming odds. Finally, the rogue faction began to retreat, unable to break through the city's defenses. Cheers echoed through the streets as citizens emerged, witnessing the bravery and strategy that had saved their home. Leora stood tall beside Ethan, her skin glowing a steady, radiant red, a symbol of strength, courage, and newfound confidence. Ethan turned to her, smiling. "You see, courage isn't about fighting alone. It's about trust, teamwork, and heart. Humans are special, yes, but you are extraordinary too." Leora's gaze softened, her golden eyes shimmering. I understand now. Humans show us that bravery is not just a rule to follow, but a feeling to embrace. And you make me want to be my best." As the city settled into a calm evening, Leora invited Ethan to the palace gardens. They walked among glowing flowers and singing fountains, their hands brushing occasionally, each touch sending a soft red pulse across Leora's skin. "Ethan," she said, her voice hesitant, "your words, they change me. They make me see strength I didn't know I had. I want to feel this way always." Ethan chuckled softly. "You can. Courage is inside you. Humans just help bring it out. And it's not just about fighting. Courage is honesty, kindness, care. The more you embrace it, the stronger you become." Her skin glowed steadily, no longer flickering nervously. You inspire me, more than anyone else ever has." For a long moment, they walked in silence, enjoying the calm of the gardens. Ethan could feel the connection between them growing stronger. Humans had a unique gift. They could inspire, encourage, and awaken hidden strength in others. And here, on Varillia, that gift was creating something extraordinary, a bond between species. Hearts connected across the stars. Suddenly, a small child approached them, eyes wide with wonder. "Princess Leora," the child exclaimed. "You and the human. You saved our city. You are brave." Leora knelt down, smiling warmly, her skin glowing bright red. "Thank you," she said gently. "We could not have done it without everyone's courage. And this human helped me see that bravery is not just about power, it's about heart." Ethan smiled at the child. "That's right. Courage comes in many forms, and anyone can have it, no matter their size or strength." The child's eyes shone, and Leora stood, looking at Ethan with a mix of admiration and gratitude. You have changed more than the city tonight. You have changed me, Ethan. I see now what humans can teach, and how we can be stronger together." Ethan felt a quiet satisfaction. Humans were known across the galaxy for their boldness and courage, but their greatest strength was their ability to connect with others, to inspire, and to bring out the best in every being they met. And Leora's transformation, the confidence, the bravery, the glowing red skin that now reflected inner strength was proof of that truth. As the moons rose high in the Varillian sky, casting silver light over the floating towers, Leora and Ethan stood together, overlooking the city. The citizens moved through the glowing streets with newfound hope, their eyes filled with trust and admiration. "You have taught me more than I ever imagined," Leora said softly. "Humans, you are truly remarkable, and I feel remarkable too." Ethan smiled, resting a hand lightly on her shoulder. And that's the most human thing of all, helping others see their own strength. You're ready for anything now, Leora, and together, we can face whatever comes next. Her skin glowed bright red, steady and proud, a symbol of courage, trust, and connection. And as they stood in the gardens, side by side, Ethan realized that humans could change the galaxy not with weapons or technology, but with their hearts, the courage to act, the honesty to speak, and the ability to inspire hope wherever they went. The floating city of Varelia had been saved. But more importantly, a bond had been forged between human and princess, between worlds and between hearts. And as the stars twinkled above, Ethan knew that this was only the beginning of a new era, where courage and connection could overcome any challenge, and humanity could shine as a beacon of hope across the universe. The twin suns of Varelia had risen, painting the floating city in golden and violet hues. The air was crisp, filled with the soft hum of energy from the crystal towers. After the recent attacks, the city felt alive in a new way, not just because it had survived, but because its people had discovered courage, hope, and unity. Ethan walked through the streets alongside Princess Leora. The citizens greeted them warmly, nodding and bowing in respect. Children waved excitedly, pointing to the human who had changed their world. Leora's skin glowed softly red, a steady radiance reflecting pride and newfound confidence. "You've done so much," Leora said quietly, walking beside Ethan. "The city, it feels safer. The people, they believe again. And Her words faltered as her skin brightened slightly, reflecting her emotions. "I feel stronger, braver. You've taught me things no one else could." Ethan smiled. "You didn't need teaching, Leora. Humans can inspire, yes, but the strength was always inside you. We just help it shine." Her golden eyes glimmered. "Then, perhaps humans are more than visitors. Perhaps you are part of the future of Varelia." Ethan laughed softly. "Maybe, but the future depends on your courage as well. Humans can't do everything. We can show the way, but you and your people must walk it." Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion near the city gates. Ethan and Leora hurried toward the sound, finding a group of citizens surrounding a Varelian elder who held a glowing crystal. The elder looked worried, but also determined. "Princess," he said, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands, "we have found a relic from the old council, the Crystal of Unity. It is said to guide leaders and inspire courage in the hearts of the people. With your courage and this human's wisdom, we can secure a new era for Varelia." Leora looked at Ethan, her skin pulsing a bright red. "Together?" she asked softly. "Together," Ethan agreed, his eyes warm. Humans and Varelians united. Courage and connection. They placed their hands on the crystal. Light flowed from it, cascading over the city. Citizens paused in awe as the energy spread, reaching every corner of the floating towers and gardens. For the first time, the city felt completely alive, not just in energy, but in spirit. The bond between its people, the courage awakened by human bravery, and the leadership of Princess Leora combined to create something extraordinary. "You see," Ethan said, turning to Leora, "strength isn't just physical. It's in trust, in heart, and connection. That is the real power humans share, and now you have it too." Leora's golden eyes shone, and her skin glowed the deepest red she had ever experienced. I feel it. The courage, the hope, and I want to share it with everyone." The following days were filled with celebration and preparation. Citizens trained, guided by Ethan's strategies and Leora's leadership. Together, they built a stronger, safer city. The rogue faction had retreated, but the people of Varelia now knew they could defend themselves. Using both courage and ingenuity, Ethan and Leora spent much of their time walking through the city, teaching, observing, and sharing stories. They laughed together, discussed strategy, and explored the glowing gardens and floating towers. Leora's skin shimmered red whenever Ethan praised her insight or bravery, and she began to understand that humans had a gift, the ability to see potential and awaken it in others. "You make me feel alive," she admitted one evening as they watched the twin suns set. Her glow was a soft, steady red, like embers warming the night. Not just brave, but capable of leading, of inspiring. I never knew this before. You've always had it, Ethan said gently. Humans can show it, remind you, but it was yours all along. Now, you just see it for yourself. Their bond grew stronger each day, rooted in trust, respect, and admiration. Leora learned that bravery was not about fighting alone or being perfect. It was about acting with heart, making decisions guided by compassion, and inspiring others to do the same. And humans, Ethan realized, could be the spark that awakened these qualities in others. Even across galaxies. One morning, a messenger arrived with urgent news. A new fleet of rogue ships approached, testing the city's defenses once again. Ethan and Leora moved swiftly, but this time there was no fear. The citizens were ready, the defenses stronger, and the leaders confident. Remember, Ethan said to the assembled defenders, courage comes from trust. Trust in each other, trust in your heart, and trust in what you can do. Humans have faced impossible odds before, and together we can face anything. Leora stepped beside him, her skin glowing red with pride and determination. We defend not just walls or technology, she said firmly, but hope, unity, the belief that courage can change the world. The battle began, but it was different from before. The defenders moved with skill and confidence. Drones guided by human logic and Varillian precision intercepted the attackers. Energy shields were positioned strategically, while patrol units acted with coordination that inspired awe. Every move reflected the courage that had been nurtured in the hearts of the people. Ethan and Leora fought together, side by side. He guided her through strategic maneuvers, and she responded with skill and courage, her skin blazing red with every act of bravery. Each time he praised her insight or leadership, her confidence grew, and so did the effectiveness of their defense. You are brilliant, Ethan said during a brief pause. Your people are lucky to have you, and I am lucky to see it. Leora's golden eyes met his, a soft glow radiating from her skin. And I am lucky to have learned from you, she whispered. You show me what humans can do, and what I can do too. The rogue fleet, confronted by the unity and courage of Aurelia's defenders, began to retreat. They realized that no attack could break the spirit of a city where bravery, trust, and connection were stronger than fear. Citizens cheered as the ships disappeared into the sky, their morale lifted by the realization that courage, not weapons alone, was the true power. As calm returned, Ethan and Leora stood on a high crystal balcony overlooking the city. The twin suns reflected off the floating towers, casting patterns of light across the streets. Children played among the glowing gardens, adults spoke with confidence and pride, and the city felt alive in a way it never had before. You have changed more than the city, Leora said softly. You have changed hearts, mine, and everyone's, humans. You are remarkable. Ethan placed a hand on her shoulder, smiling. And you've shown that courage can be awakened in anyone. Humans can teach, yes, but the true heroism comes from seeing the strength already inside others. That's what makes humans special, and that's what makes you extraordinary. Her skin glowed red, steady and proud, reflecting a new confidence. Then, let this be a new era, a time when humans and Virillians learn from each other. When courage, trust, and heart guide us forward. Ethan nodded. A new era, together. That evening, the palace gardens were filled with citizens celebrating their victory and newfound hope. Ethan watched as Leora spoke to them, her words inspiring courage, kindness, and pride. He realized that humans could not only survive across the galaxy, they could inspire, teach, and awaken the best qualities in others. You've changed the future, Ethan said quietly to Leora as they walked among the glowing flowers. Not just through bravery, but through connection. Humanity is strongest when it touches the hearts of others. Leora smiled, her skin glowing a deep, radiant red. And you've taught me that courage and hope are not just words. They are actions, feelings, and choices. You've made me see the true power of heart. As night fell, the twin moons of Aurelia rose, reflecting in the crystal towers and gardens. Ethan and Leora stood together, looking over the city, their hands brushing lightly. Citizens moved with confidence, children played with joy, and the floating towers glimmered with energy and life. For the first time, Ethan understood the full meaning of humanity's greatest gift: courage, compassion, and the ability to inspire hope across worlds. And for the first time, Leora realized that humans could awaken strength and bravery that no alien technology or rule could ever teach. The city of Varelia was no longer just a floating jewel in the galaxy. It was a symbol of connection, courage, and a new era where humans and aliens could learn from each other. And at the heart of it all, Ethan and Leora stood side by side, ready to face any challenge, united by trust, courage, and the enduring power of the human heart. The stars twinkled above, and the crystal towers shimmered below. Humanity had left its mark not through force, not through conquest, but through heart, courage, and connection. And Princess Leora, glowing red with newfound strength, would carry that lesson into the future, guiding her people into an era of hope, bravery, and unity. Ethan looked out at the city, feeling a quiet pride. Humans could inspire, connect, and awaken greatness anywhere in the galaxy. And on Varelia, that gift had changed everything. The new era had begun.